గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ డియర్ స్టూడెంట్స్. ఈరోజు ఎన్ఎంఆర్ వర్ణపటమితి గురించి కొన్ని ప్రాథమిక విషయాలు చూద్దాం. సో మీకు ఆల్రెడీ తెలిసిందే స్పెక్ట్రోస్కోపీ. వాట్ ఈస్ స్పెక్ట్రోస్కోపీ? It is an analytical tool, right? So what is analytical tool? So it is a technique to trace or detect the structure of a molecule, right? So here this NMR spectroscopy in general, we have several types of NMR spectroscopies. So these are the types of NMR spectroscopy. H1 NMR, so that is also called as proton magnetic resonance spectroscopy. Next, carbon 13 spectroscopy, NMR spectroscopy. Next, nitrogen 15, fluorine 19. So these are very rarely used. And these two spectroscopy, proton spectroscopy and carbon 13 spectroscopy, generally frequently used spectroscopies in the laboratories. And this PMR, which is included in our syllabus, right? So here when you look at these nuclei, so all are having odd number of masses, means so here mass number is equal to number of protons plus number of neutrons, present in the nuclei, right? So here, so if you observe all this proton, carbon 13, nitrogen 15, fluorine 19, all are having odd number of masses, means so if you add the number of protons and number of neutrons in the above nuclei, right, so you are going to get this mass number as odd number, means one of the protons or neutrons may be in odd number, right? So an even and odd combination will give you an odd number. So let us take the example of proton. Here how many number of protons are there? In the case of proton, it is 1, right? And this is 0, right? Odd and even combination, it gives you odd number of odd number of mass number, right? So same we may observe in the case of carbon 13. So carbon 13, it is, so there are 6 protons as its atomic number is 6, and so to make 13 we have to add 7 neutrons. So here, so this is even and odd, or if you have any odd and even combination also. If you take example of nitrogen 15, so nitrogen is having 7 protons and 8 neutrons, right? So it is having 7 plus 8. This is odd and even combination. Still this is magnetically active, as I said. So those nuclei which are having odd number of mass number, they are magnetically active nuclei. Mass number with odd is magnetically active nuclei, right? So ఏ కేంద్రకాలైతే బేసి సంఖ్యలో ద్రవ్యరాశి సంఖ్యను కలిగి ఉంటాయో అవి అయస్కాంత స్వభావాన్ని కలిగి ఉంటాయి, రైట్? సో దే హ్యావ్ నెట్ magnetism, right? So as we know, when a magnetically active or magnetically active species are a charged species. Active species are a charged species kept in, this is the a tiny magnet. Let us suppose this is a tiny magnet, this is our nuclei, right? This is our nuclei which is magnetically active. That is why I have indicated north and south poles to this nuclei, right? It may be that proton or carbon 13 nuclei, right? So when you introduce this nuclei in external magnetic field in the sense here, so when you think about or when you discuss about magnetic field, it is very essential to have two poles, right? North and south poles, right? So if you bring this nuclei, very tiny nuclei, into external magnetic field, how this tiny nuclei behaves, let us discuss, right? So if this is like this, right? So here this is the case. So south pole of this tiny nuclei is towards the north pole of external magnetic pole, and north pole of this tiny nuclei are the proton nuclei is nearer towards south pole of external magnetic field. So this is there is attraction between these things, so it can easily lie between this magnetic field like this only. And so if I arrange like this, so this is the external magnetic field. Let us suppose external magnetic field. So generally if you look at the picture, it looks like a Hertzian magnet, and which is having north pole in the upside and south pole in the downside, right? And here I am bringing magnetically active nuclei, very tiny nuclei, okay? So for my convenience I am writing it as a bar magnet, right? So at the initial I am keeping so I am keeping this magnetically active nuclei like this. So how it will move, whether it tilt towards upwards or downwards, can anyone? Alright, so as we know, so dislike poles or opposite poles attracts, okay? That is the pivotal or the basic law of magnetic poles. So opposite poles attracts and like poles are similar poles repels, right? So here that the bare magnet, which is under the influence of external magnetic field, will move or adjust automatically, naturally, in this way. See, right? So here the bar magnet adjusts automatically itself in this manner. Sorry, so it moves like this, right? North pole come towards south pole of the external magnetic field applied, and south pole, this pole of the tiny nuclei, will move towards north pole of the applied external magnetic field, right? So if this is the case, this is the natural case, naturally it itself adjusts like this. And here, so if this thing happens, if it goes in the opposite direction, right? So if this pole come down, so what is the case now? Here, so north pole of the tiny nuclei going towards or coming towards the north pole of the external magnetic field or applied magnetic field, and the south pole of the tiny nuclei coming towards the applied magnetic field. So what will happen here? There will be a repulsion. So this state generally we cannot imagine. Naturally these tiny magnets will not adjust like this. And here this is less energetic state. And so if you suppose, if there is any possibility, so this will lead to a lot of repulsion between the tiny magnet and the applied magnetic field. So this is highly energetic, right? This is highly energetic, right? And so now the energy states of this tiny nuclei, will be divided into or split into two energy states when you bring it into the external magnetic field, right? As we saw here. So naturally this is the less energetic state, and this is high energetic state, right? In general, so the nuclei, this tiny nuclei, okay, naturally, okay, tries to be at this less energetic state only. And if you give some energy, or the gap between this high energetic and a less energetic state, so let us suppose this is having energy EL and this is EH, and if you provide this much of energy, which is equal to EH minus EL, right? So by any source, right? So if you provide this much of energy, okay, so the nuclei in less energy state into this high energetic state, right? So this absorb this much of energy and jumps into high energy state. And here when a nuclei promotes to high energetic state, and it will no more stable or static at high energetic state, and again it lost its energy, or it emits the energy gained and bounce back to its original state, right? So here nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy, this is the magnet. Okay, this is the magnet, and here in general this is the tiny nuclei, this is the tiny magnet, and it is having two energy states as we discussed here in the picture, right? When you keep it in the external magnetic field, this is the less energetic state and this is the high energetic state, and when you supply some energy which is equal to the difference between the high energy and low energetic states, so this tiny nuclei will promote to the high energetic state, and again it emits the energy received or observed and bounce back to the original state or less energetic state, right? So here this magnet moves to high energetic state when you supply this amount of energy, right? So when your energy, okay, when the supplied energy matches to the energy difference between these two energy levels, so the matching of energy are here, energy may be synonymous to frequency, right? ఎనర్జీ, శక్తి అనేది పౌనపున్యానికి సమానమని తీసుకుంటామండి, రైట్? సో ఎప్పుడైతే మనం సప్లై చేసే ఈ శక్తి అనేది మనం సప్లై చేసే శక్తి యొక్క పౌనపున్యం అనేది, రైట్? సో ఈ పౌనపున్యం అనేది ఇక్కడ ఉన్నటువంటి ఈ ఎనర్జీ గ్యాప్కి సమానమైనప్పుడు తక్కువ శక్తి స్థాయిలో ఉన్నటువంటి కేంద్రకము ఎక్కువ శక్తి స్థాయిలోకి వెళ్ళిపోతుంది, పరివర్తన చెందుతుంది. సో ఈ విధంగా పరివర్తన చెందడాన్నే, లేదా ఇక్కడ ఈ రెండిటి మధ్యలో ఉన్నటువంటి భేదానికి సమానమైనటువంటి సమాన ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీని అందించడాన్నే మనం ఏమంటామంటే అనునాదము, that is resonance, right? So resonance is matching of frequencies when the frequency of supplied energy is equal to the difference between the high energetic state and less energetic state, then the nuclei in less energy state will promote to the high energy state. సో ఈ విధంగా ఎప్పుడైతే ఈ రెండు ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీలు లేదా రెండు ఎనర్జీలు సమానమైనప్పుడు ఈ విధంగా న్యూక్లియై తక్కువ శక్తి స్థాయి నుంచి ఎక్కువ శక్తి స్థాయికి ప్రమోట్ కావడాన్ని ఏమంటామంటే రెజనెన్స్ అంటాం. సో న్యూక్లియర్ రెజ్, అండ్ హియర్ we generally observes in this spectroscopy. So here the observed energy, okay, సో ఇక్కడ ఏదైతే ఎనర్జీ మనం సప్లై చేస్తున్నామో ఆ ఎనర్జీని మనం రికార్డ్ చేస్తాం, రైట్? సో ఇక్కడ ఎలక్ట్రోమాగ్నెటిక్ రేడియేషన్లో రేడియో ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీని సప్లై చేస్తాం కాబట్టి, రేడియో వేవ్స్ని సప్లై చేస్తాం కాబట్టి, సో ఆ రేడియో వేవ్స్ని సప్లై చేసి we will observe what type of radiation is being observed by this nuclei. సో ఆ రేడియో ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీ లేదా రేడియో వేవ్స్లో ఏ పౌనపున్యం దగ్గర ఈ యొక్క పరివర్తనం జరుగుతుందో దాన్ని అబ్జర్వ్ చేసి, సో అక్కడ ఉన్నటువంటి న్యూక్లియై యొక్క స్వభావాన్ని అంచనా వేస్తాం. వి జనరల్లీ ఎస్టిమేట్ ద నేచర్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ న్యూక్లియై by analyzing how much amount of frequency observed to promote the high energy state. So if it takes less frequency or less energy to promote high energy, so or whether this nuclei is taking higher frequency or higher energy to promote the higher energy. తక్కువ పౌనపున్యము లేదా తక్కువ శక్తి తీసుకుంటుందా, ఎక్కువ పౌనపున్యము లేదా ఎక్కువ శక్తి తీసుకుంటుందా, సో ఆ విలువను బట్టి అక్కడ ఉన్నటువంటి న్యూక్లియై అంటే ఇందాక మనం చెప్పుకున్నట్టు, సో ఈ ప్రోటాను, కార్బన్ ఇట్లాంటి కేంద్రకాల యొక్క స్వభావాన్ని గురించి మనము చెప్పగలుగుతాం, రైట్? సో మేజర్గా సో వీటి యొక్క అప్లికేషన్స్ అనువర్తనాలు. సో NMR స్పెక్ట్రోస్కోప్ యొక్క అనువర్తనాలు చూద్దాం. రైట్.